the club, I got fearless leaders in the club who has guided me when I was joined. And it was fortunate that I had joined when there was a contest going on. And I saw that how those contests has changed me. I participated in humorous contest and in evaluation contest. I had to repeat my speech 6 to 7 times. How much is the content matters, how much is the how much is the perspective matters of mine and then others. Because when you write a speech, you write from your own perspective. But when there is an audience who correct you, on time to time on every speech, then you get a perspective of others as well. At one point, my funny speech converted into a serious speech where no one is laughing. So that was a learning for me. And I hope that every one of you get the tricks of this game in this meeting today. So thank you everyone for joining this meeting. Now, as Rajendra mentioned, that I keep posting videos on WhatsApp and Facebook, whatever I learn, and I keep learning now also. And recently I have learned balloon twisting. So I would like everyone to participate in this. I have prepared something. I will show you in a while in the screen. The first one who will guess what it is and put it on the chat box will get a personal gift from my side to the home address. All right. So are you guys ready? Okay. First person who guess what it is and put it in the chat box, please. Oh, so we have the winner, Kriti Bansal. Congrats, Kriti. Thank you. Now for the welcome address, I have someone who is my favorite, who is multi-talented, with a varied interest from art to craft to traveling. If Chinu would have been here, I think it would have been Var, because she is Chinu's favorite as well. She is a past president of DSO. She's a past member of District 105 PQD teams. She's a current Area 23 director. She's a protective coach and consultant and a mother of 1.5-year-old. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Pragnya Venigela. Pragnya, stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Girish. A very good evening to all of you present here. And it's such a pleasure to have you join us in this venture to deconstruct speeches. I wanted to share a quick story that I read recently somewhere. One winter morning in Michigan, an old-timer went ice fishing. Now, it was 10 o'clock in the morning. He cut a small hole in the ice and sat down with a crate of beer beside him. Fishing is not, something that you can hurry. And he knew that. He was very patient with it. He put the line in, and one by one, beer cans started emptying out. The fishing basket also stayed empty. The day drew on, and at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, his basket was still empty, and so was his crate of beer. A young boy came along. He was carrying this big boom box and played defaming heavy metal music. He cut a hole in the ice too and sat down to fish with the music still loud. The old-timer glanced at him with disgusted contempt. I've been sitting here since morning quietly, and this fool thinks he can just come here with some music and catch some fish? Fool like a young fool, he thought. And to his amazement, within 10 minutes, the boy landed a huge trout. The old man dismissed it as a lucky break and continued fishing. 2 minutes later, the boy caught another fish. Now, this was something which was strange. Now, the old-timer was actually hurt, and he wanted to see what happened. So he set aside his pride and asked the boy, "What is this?" And he asked him, and he pleaded, saying, "I've been sitting here the whole day and I haven't caught a single fish, but you have already caught some in like 10-15 minutes. What did you do?" The boy said, "You just have to keep." of this story is that we may think we do things right. We may think we know it all. We may think experience is on our side. However, doing the right thing is very different from doing things that we know are right. So today we are all here to deconstruct speeches and to actually know how to do it right. I just wanted you to welcome you all to this event, the Area 23 hosted event of the Division B Education Series, Speech Contest Deconstructed. Area 23 is a very special one, and we are a family of 4 clubs: the Dynamic DSO Toastmasters Club, the Dashing IMT Dubai Toastmasters Club, the SP Jain Toastmasters Professionals, and the very special Area 23 Toastmasters Club. Hey, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we
All
can.
right, thank you. Sorry for that technical glitch from my side. What I was saying is we know how to do things perfectly, but we may not know how to do things sometimes right. And I apparently did not switch off all the other Wi-Fi devices at home. My bad. So the first learning of contest season. If you are on an online contest, make sure all other Wi-Fi devices in your house are off so you have full bandwidth here. Right. Thank you for bearing with me. Right, so we were talking about the 4 clubs that we have in Area 23: the Dynamic DSO, the Dashing IMT Dubai Toastmasters, the SPJN Professionals, and the Driven UAE Ladies Toastmasters Club. These 4 clubs together form Area 23, and which is under this beautiful Big B umbrella of Division B. And today, to take this meeting, we have somebody who is very special for all of us in Division B. But before I introduce her to you, I want to introduce to you something that is very special for all of us in 3, a new initiative that we have come up with. Can I please request the Zoom master to play the short video of what I'm talking about? Right. So while the video comes on,
Not yet.
There is some technical issue. Just give me a second.
okay, so we'll wait for the video. So in the meantime, let me introduce to you somebody who's very special, who's a darling of Division B. She is none other than our Division B PQD, somebody with a smile, somebody who serves with her heart. And we can see that she has a beautiful personality, someone who's always ready to help all of us. We lovingly call her Mother of Area 22. We call her the darling of Division B. Give her whatever name you want, but she is known as Toastmaster Ajita Sivam.
Thank you very much for that flattering introduction, Pragya. And I welcome everybody to the Division B and Area 23's fourth education series. First of all, on behalf of our Division Director Toastmaster Harish and Division B team, I would like to congratulate all the clubs of Area 23 for achieving many accolades. Congratulations to the IMT Toastmasters and DSO Toastmasters Club on achieving Smedley Award. In addition, I would like to congratulate the SPJ, DSO and IMT Toastmasters for achieving the lead and win award. With the amazing number of 12 education awards have been acclaimed, and the DSO Toastmasters already achieved select distinguished with 7 DCP points. It is inspiring to witness the team effort put in by the Area 23 Director, Toastmaster Pragya, Area 23's core team, and all the members of the clubs under Area 23. Looking at the champions lined up for today's session is really motivating and inspiring to see. With this, I would wish from my heart for today's event and all your future efforts. As rightly stated by our division in Division B motto, let's all learn and grow together. Thank you very much, Pragya.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rajita. It's a pleasure to always have you with us. Now I think the Zoom Master is ready with the video, so let's have a very quick look at that. Thank you, Zoom Master. So that was a very quick sneak peek into our Area 23 initiative of the virtual bookworms. This is a new initiative of a virtual book club from Area 23. We will share more details about it very soon, so keep your eyes and ears open and join us when we go live. Now, moving on to why we are all here today. Now, I asked Toastmaster Ajita before this meeting, why is this session important? You know what she told me? She said, if you have learned the things you should do, you are already a winner on track. And today, we are all here exactly for that, to learn what are the things to do. To help us with our contest season that is coming up very, very soon and is just around the corner. And to take forward this, I hand over back to our lovely MC, Toastmaster Girish Dhyani.
Thank you, Pragya. We have a next session coming in for international speech contest. And the person who is moderating this session is someone who has been with 2 clubs from 2.5 years. He is a part of a SPJN and a DSO Toastmaster Club. When I asked him about his profession, he said most of the building in Dubai he has worked on. So he worked as a civil engineer in Dubai for the past 11 years, 17 years. And he is working as a project manager, working for the local engineering consultant. He's someone, when he is a grammarian in any of the meeting, I'm very conscious about what I say, because he's the one who catches very fast. Please help me to welcome our moderator for International Speech Contest, Toastmaster A.B. Lakshman.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction. For sure, I have not built all the buildings in Dubai, then I'll be a bit more older than what I am now. Good evening, all. Good evening, all. We Toastmasters are born to speak and want to speak always. I know we all are geared up for this year contest to talk and win. The International Speech Contest is the crown of all the contests what we used to do. To guide us for performing well on international speech, we have here super senior Toastmaster with us. Please note, there is a time allotted for Q&A session after the education session. Please feel free to send your questions through the chat window during the speech. If there are any questions left over by the facilitator, I will take up to him during the Q&A session. Our speaker was born in Dubai a long time ago. I think he don't want to reveal his age. Not long time ago, only long time ago. He's been Toastmaster from 2007. He was a District 105 champion for international speech category held in 2016. He is very humorous Toastmaster. He is also a corporate trainer and coach. Please join me in welcoming our dynamic, dashing, and humorous Toastmaster Sami Al-Herbawi. Stage is yours, sir.
Thank you. It's always good to be home. You know why? Because I was born in Division B. And I'm coming back to Division B. Fellow Toastmasters, respected guests, it is really an honor to be given a chance to share what we learn from this beautiful, amazing journey we had as Toastmasters. Back to whom we learned it from, you, fellow Toastmasters. Because we learn most of our techniques and styles from practicing in clubs that are hosted by leaders like yourself. So before I start, thank you for being an audience, thank you for being host, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to interact with you over the next 20 minutes, which sometimes could be pushed to 40 to 45, depends on how, no, I'm gonna keep it 20, not as usual. I'm trying to improve my habit. But before we start, I wanna ask the audience to share their questions with the moderator instantly and don't wait till the end, so that you can get started with answers immediately. Before I start, I just wanted to highlight that I'm being seen on two screens. One will be my presentation and the other one will be my pretty face. So can you see my smile? Yes, you can. Thank you very much. Let's get started. The title of my educational session is called Crafted Right. A speech needs to be crafted. So what I will address today is combination between techniques and strategies, skills and ideas that can help you craft your next speech. Hopefully, it can be a winning speech. No one can promise anyone that there is a formula for a best, most perfect speech. That does not exist. The best speech of anyone, including the World Championship of Public Speaking, has not yet come in. You still have more and more to improve till you reach your best. Always keep that in mind. But here, I want to have a little bit different approach, and I want people to allow me to engage along with me using their mic. You don't have to turn on your camera, but turn on your mic. I have some questions to ask. I'm a little bit bothered by some traditions, so I need to understand something from you, ladies and gentlemen. Why do we exchange gifts during various occasions?
It's a sign of warmth and friendship.
Okay, what else? I want other answers. Come on. Why do we share gifts?
Giving makes us happy.
It is a way to show our happiness towards the occasion to others.
Why didn't you go and show it your happiness by raising up your hand, by jumping off happiness? Why a gift?
Sometimes words are not enough, so you show through a gift, love, or any emotions.
Wow, because this little gift carries more than just a gift, right? It has a lot of hidden emotions, hidden words, right, Iman? Now,
Yes.
my question is, if this is the case, why didn't you just give the gift like that? Why do I have to spend time, wrap it and package it and, you know, decorate it? Why can't I just go, happy birthday, here you go? Why do I have to package it and decorate it? Someone other than Iman, why you always rush? Why? Anyone wants to answer?
To make it special, to make it more special, to improve our relation.
Why do you want to make it so special? It's a very expensive gift.
Because
Why
the
would you hide
person
it?
that, because the person I'll be giving, there is special one.
Fine, but I mean, if you buy me a latest iPhone, don't package it. Please give it to me just like that. It's an iPhone. What's more important than an iPhone? Maybe an iPad, but if you're given a very expensive ring, why do you need to package it? Why do you need to gift wrap it? It's
To show it
already
as
so
a
Presentation.
expensive.
surprise.
Say again?
To show it as a surprise, because when it is packed, they don't know what inside the object is. But the moment they open it, the
And
happiness
what
that we
happens
see
when
in
they
their
don't
face.
know what's inside the object, sir?
So it is a surprise for them. The moment they open, the
What
happiness.
happens when your eye gets into the gift and you wonder what is it?
Anticipation.
Exactly. You get hooked. You have the smile on your face and the guessing started to get, you actually get involved. Why am I saying this? Very simple, direct to the point, ladies and gentlemen. You want to craft a winning speech? Follow the following steps. 1, treat your speech like a gift you wish to give to someone you love, which is your audience. And your gift wrap is going to be the introduction line that you are going to speak first before you give the gift. So before you are thinking about a gift, do you rush to the market and buy a gift wrap, or you go select a nice gift first? And then ask yourself a beautiful question. How do I want my audience to feel once they see my speech and before they know the topic of my speech? That's the effect of the gift wrap. You want your gift to stand out. You want it to look different. You want it to feel different, right? But what I noticed from many Toastmasters is that he thinks or she thinks that I can start with raising a question, and then I will have this introduction, and they build the speech from the start till the end. They don't know that when you buy a gift for your loved ones, you go buy the gift first. You package it later, right? So I want you all to write this question always on top of your head whenever you are preparing to write a speech, and mute yourself if you are not speaking. How do I want my audience to feel before they get to know my speech topic? Because this question is very critical. Some of my mentees sometimes they would say, I would like to open with raising a question to engage the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, you can engage the audience in 100 and different ways. The question is, how do you want the audience to feel while they are engaged? Determines what strategy you want to start your speech with. So it's not just raising a question, telling a story. There is no one way. Just like you can buy a diamond gift, diamond ring, and have hundreds and thousands of ways to wrap it, you still can write one speech and cover it in different themes. Now, anyone wants to volunteer with me for 2 minutes exercise? Quickly,
Yes.
anyone? Just
Yes.
say your name, please.
Iman.
Iman, if you are to speak about a topic that I will give me an opening statement that you would start with. Don't overspeed on the main road. What would be your opening statement?
There is a lot of people who are victim of stress. There is a lot of people who are victims of their mobile phone or but have you heard
Fantastic.
about
Lovely, lovely. But let me allow you to come back to track because you are driving and you went off the track. Now, it's the point, the message is don't overspeed on the road. And you actually went to playing with the phone, texting while driving. I want you to bring you back to the track. What would be the alternative option? Anyone else? Think of an option. Come on, another option. Don't overspeed on the road. What would be your opening line?
Yeah, may I?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah. Speed thrills, what kills?
Fantastic, I like it. But come on, you've already revealed your gift. You're going to speak about speed on the road by this statement. So it's a nice opening, but it kills the surprise. Can we make it more mysterious? Come on, give me a line that is more mysterious.
We always like to reach our destination on time.
There you go. Who said that?
Iman.
Iman again. Okay, welcome Iman again. Brilliant way, Iman. Yes, you started from another direction, another line. I can come up with 100 different ways of how I address this. Even I can bring an example that has nothing to do with the roads or with the speed. I can simply say, there are a lot of habits that we live with, but one of these habits might be the reason why we die. Now that statement that you step up and you say it creates that attraction. But how do you decide that opening statement or that story you want to begin with or that question you want to begin with? Always remember, it's how you want your audience to feel. At the beginning of your speech and at the end of your speech, determine how you want to open it and how you want to close it. But before that, pick your gift first. Make it original. Don't copy someone else's speech because Sammy spoke about perfume. Let's speak about perfumes. It's a nice example. It doesn't work this way. You want to have something original, something authentic, something effective, and package it right, and then move forward. Now, this is an overall, but you need to keep your compass on one thing. Whatever you say in your speech, any line you say in your speech must lead to one of the three objectives. Either get your audience to think about something or to feel something, emotions. So you trigger the logic and you trigger the emotion. And the third thing is an action you want that audience to do. So whatever that I'm building in my speech, I want to touch the logic, but I also want to touch the emotions equally. And then I want this to lead to an action. So if there is any part component of your speech, talking about a story, telling about what happened with your spouse, if it doesn't help the purpose of thinking, feeling, acting, please take it out and blame it on me. Every part of your speech will make you think, and we will come to show some examples, or feel or act. Otherwise, it's an additional to the speech that is slowing your progress down. The second point, according to the manuals of Toastmasters, international manuals, the 10 manuals we were born to be introduced to, in the manual how to say it, you've got 4 main objectives of any speech: entertain, inform, inspire, and persuade. When you entertain, you touch emotions, and this is where people get wrong. They think that when they touch emotions, they actually make audience laugh. I disagree. When you touch emotions, you may make people laugh, and you may make them think. You might make them feel scared of losing their lives because of bad habit. You might make them feel scared of losing their loved ones because of their arrogance. You might make them feel sad because of an incident that happens to someone they love. The whole point is anything I say that will make you feel something is entertaining. So never misunderstand entertaining to be only humorous. Sometimes variety of emotions in one speech can make that speech a winning one and forever remarkable. And then we move to inform. Your speech must have knowledge that you share, information. Your speech, after having that emotional evoking and information, can then maybe have 1, maximum 2 messages that you want to persuade us to do. I have watched a lot of speakers who end up hammering the audience. You must do this and you need to do that and you have to do this, and for God's sake, give me just 1 message to take home. Okay, my car can accommodate 1 more. Give me 1.5 or 2 maximum, but don't overload your audience with so many actions you want them to do. You want them to lose weight, love their spouse, be a plastic-free person, become diet-free, whatever you want, but don't overload them with so many messages they want them to take. Just one or two. And finally, inspiring. I always say, keep the inspiring of your speech towards the very end. And that is lesson learned from Muhammad Qahtani. In general, every time you entertain your audience, you evoke their emotions by telling them personal stories, well-known quotes, and they end up loving you because it touched emotions. And once you share logic information, standout statistics, or mind-blowing facts, it glue them into the topic because, wow, they respect you. And the minute you move to persuading, they would listen to you. But if you want them to listen to you more effectively, I would always suggest, and it's just a suggestion, to postpone your persuading statements toward the end of your speech and keep the first two parts entertaining, informing, highlighting the problems you are addressing without trying to convince people. Because if you own the audience and if you own the respect and love, it is easy to persuade them. Finally, is the inspiration. If your speech is not promising me a better future, it's missing a big part. So if you're telling me that if I act like what you act, did what you did, eat what you eat, I'm going to be a happy person, fine. But what is the promise? Take me to that promise. Draw that smile in the future in my face. Draw that goal or cause I will live my life and die for. Inspiring, ladies and gentlemen, is when you take your audience to the future for just 20 seconds. Watch out Muhammad Qahtani's speech. Watch out Danajia's speech. Both these speeches have actually postponed their inspiring statement towards the last 30 seconds when they tell you how beautiful life is should you apply their methods and message they are calling you for. So how do you begin crafting a winning speech? There is nothing such as a winning speech. I'm really sorry to disappoint all of you, but you can develop habits of writing speeches, and one of them will turn to be the successful one. And today we will analyze a successful one. I want another volunteer, please. Who can read the speech quickly? Quickly, who can read the speech out loud?
Can I?
Hello? Again, Iman. Okay, Iman, go ahead. You are the only one unmuting yourself.
Just a look. Okay, words, when articulated in a particular way, can change someone's mind. They can alter someone's belief. You have the power to bring someone from the slums of life and make a successful person out of him, or destroy someone's happiness using only your words. Does that seem a bit too good to be true? A simple choice of words can make a difference between someone accepting or denying your message. You can have a very beautiful thing to say, but say it in the wrong words and it's gone. How we say it, right?
All right, I'm going to stop you for the shortage of time, Iman. I'm going to stop you, please, because I'm running out of time. But whose speech is this? Whose speech is this? No, Qahtani's speech had his brother, the friend who died, his son who was drawing on the wall. Where are these in the speech?
Muhammad al-Qahtani.
It is there in between the
But how is it Muhammad Qahtani's speech? Muhammad Qahtani had a lot of stories. He had Gaza cigarette. Where are the cigarettes?
The skeleton of the speech.
What is that?
The skeleton of his speech. I'm your student, Sami.
Fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, every speech must have a skeleton, a base that is based on, a base that is concrete, has no taste, has no flavor, has no stories, and then the stories can be joined later on. So one of the techniques, not the only technique, don't quote me saying that, one of the techniques is that you go on and write as many short speeches with thoughts that you have in mind, things that you believe in, without adding any story. In this speech, the core speech of Muhammad Qahtani is less than 170 words only. The rest were personal stories to support his speech. The problem is, whenever we want to write a new speech, we think, oh my God, 700 words I need to write, and I need to entertain, and I need to add stories, and I need to call my spouse, and I need to. You don't have to take the load 700 words at one go. You can always reconstruct your ideas and train yourself to write short speeches like table topics without any personal stories, and just feel the message, the gift you want to give to your audience before you end up packaging it with your stories. Now I'm running in the very last minute, so I would like to ask that I will take 5 more minutes from the Q&A session, but I promise to make it worth it because I have the starting point. So what is your starting point? Today you learned that your speech needs to be entertaining, informing, persuading, inspiring. You learned that it has to be an original. You learned that you need to spend time to package it and try to make it more anticipated kind of speech. And you learned that not every speech you need to write must be 700 words. You can always practice by writing short statements, 100 words, 200 words. You just learn the art of moving from an introduction, body, and conclusion. And just to highlight here, notice how from the minute we say words, when articulated is the introduction, and then the main body is 3 key statements, and then the conclusion, tell them what you told them. And it goes very simple. When you add the stories, it becomes exciting. So where is your starting point? Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters from Division B and all around the world, in my opinion, this is your starting point. Piece of paper in your hand, words in your head, and you need to create that marriage between them. Get your speech in writing, please, and stop drawing bullet points in your head and think that you're going to speak from your heart. It doesn't work if you want to win a tournament or a contest, simply because once you are actually delivering your speech off your head, off your heart, you cannot come to a mentor and tell him, give me guidelines and give me advices and mentoring, simply because that poor mentor will, whatever tells you to adopt, he doesn't have a back, something to build it on. You don't have this doc speech written or text or typed somewhere to refer to it. So spend some time crafting speech like you are writing a love letter and you don't know what to say until you master the words. As a general skeleton, the introduction will include 55 words as content in Qahtani speech. 70 words were the body and 50 words were the conclusion. Is that really hard for you to craft 150 words as a practice? And then later master the art of adding the stories? Think about it for a while and think and ask yourself, how many speeches can you craft now? And later evolve it to make it a winning speech. Now, by concluding here, I want to add 2 techniques here. I want volunteers other than Iman, please. Anyone else want to volunteer? I have a question for you.
Yes, why not?
Okay,
Rakesh.
Go ahead, sir. Sir, please tell me any story you want. Any 10 seconds, 15-second story.
Oh, wow. 10-second story.
15 seconds. They don't have. Let's start. We are running out of time. Just go ahead.
Okay. My maternal grandmother had a vision that I was none other than the reincarnation of Mahatma Gandhi. And she told it to everybody, made me say it to everybody. This became the butt of jokes.
Can I stop you here?
Yeah.
Now let's apply a technique immediately on this speech. We will avoid the language of the past. So you will not say, my grandmother told me, wanted, she made me. Avoid the language of the past. And let's speak about it like your mother, your grandmother is alive in front of us. How would you do it?
For my grandmother, I was Mahatma Gandhi's reincarnation.
And then carry on.
And if she asked me, who are you? I was supposed to say, I am Gandhi.
Stop. You said you asked, right? You went back to the past language. So what's the moral of this technique? No, you don't have to say, sorry, we are all students here. The technique here is every time you say a story, try to bring life to it and make it alive now. and make it in the language of the present. The grandmother I have believe in me to be this and that. If I will walk into the room, she will look at me and say, you are Mahatma Gandhi, you better believe you are. Speak in the language of the presence, like the audience would feel they're actually looking at your grandma right now talking to you. Avoid, if you had to say my grandmother was, no problem, once, twice, but avoid the sequence of past event in your story. She was, she told me, then she went, she came, the language of the past is a bit not attractive, but the language of the present, there she is, walking towards me, tears in her eyes, and she said the magic words. These are the words of Danaji in his speech. When he speaks about how his dad took him somewhere, he made it so alive that it's happening in front of us. There he is, seated in the corner, looking at me, deep dive in the eyes. There he is, he was alive. Now, the second technique you apply in your stories, elaborate on the character. For my grandmother's I am the hero of India. Now, none of you know my grandmother, but let me tell you something about her. When she believes I'm someone, I better be that someone. So you elaborate a little bit on that character you introduced to your speech. Because in your story, you said, for my grandmother, I am Mahatma Gandhi. Her vision, and you move to something else, which is her vision, her reincarnation, and her philosophy. But what about her character? So the third technique here, whenever you're writing a story, elaborate a little bit on the character, make us feel that we know that character really well. Watch out Danajiya, how he made us get very close to his parents, his wife, and his characters that he introduced in the speech. And he did that in less than 10 seconds. What's the second technique I would like to encourage you all to do? Whenever you are moving in your speech, point by point, avoid certain key things. Avoid statement at the introduction saying, I will tell you, let me tell you, now let's talk about. Avoid statements like, I will start, then I will do this. And in my opinion only, avoid opening with a thought-provoking question. You might say, why? I'll say, in my opinion, asking thought-provoking question is not entertaining. It triggers logic. And if you want audience to like you, try to trigger emotions first before you trigger logic. Simply move between the points smoothly without telling me that you are going to move. These are very simple techniques that make your flow in the speech go so smooth and makes the audience just fall in love with you. And one of the audience are the judges. I know some of them, they'll all you love you. Finally, I'm going to share with you this presentation with this articulated speech map learned from the Danaji and Muhammad Qahtani speech, what the component of the speech was at the opening line, introduction, and conclusion, as well as the closing line. And I will leave my contact details for any further reference to this presentation. Sorry for overshooting the time. Back to you, MC of the evening.
That was a perfect knowledge-packed session you have delivered. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Today we have learned many techniques: think, feel, act, and entertain, inform, persuade, inspire. And your speech was really, your education session was really inspiring us. All are requested to ask the questions. I'm getting few questions. Before I go on to that, let me ask you the first question. How do we make use of the mentors in an effective way? Toastmaster Swami.
Before I start, I want to share something with the mentors in general, any mentor listening to me. In 2016, I was advised by the senior Toastmasters, without mentioning their names, but they were district directors and really senior. They told me, Sami, you've been helping a lot of people for many years. Now it's time to focus on your own speech. So don't take a lot of mentorship on your platform and just focus on your speech. I'm sorry to tell them that I did not listen to their advice. I actually took more than I could on my plate. And whenever I used to coach or mentor someone in any category, I used to discover that whatever I'm talking about was enhancing my speech. So one message first for the mentors. Even if you are participating in a contest, If you feel you can add value, please don't hesitate to give. You have no idea how your speech will be crafted in the eyes and through someone else's speech, and how you will evoke some unique ideas through the way you are sharing with others. It's just that amazing collaboration. Now, how to make the best out of your mentors? Number one, never talk to the mentor verbally. Always meet face to face. Try to meet face to face. If not Zoom, but meet, see. Share the speech in written format ahead in advance. Don't just say it in bullet points. Trust me, it doesn't work bullet points, because you can always forget how you started. And the third point, when you have a mentor, please don't be emotional with your speech. Disconnect your emotions, put it in the refrigerator, and go meet your mentor. Your mentor is not in the mood to debate about your speech and defend his viewpoint. I don't think you should start with the story of your grandma. No, but she's my grandma, man. I need to. Then the mentor will gonna say, okay, fine, go ahead. I mean, we are not here to debate about, I disagree with you, you have to disagree with me. Hear what the mentor says, take it back home, fit in what you feel like, and don't fit what you don't feel like. It's okay, you are a free person, but don't create the mentorship session as an argument, wanting the mentor to prove his point and prove that he has the right about a particular point, because it's not challenging relationship, it's a complementing relationship.
Thank you. That was a detailed answer. Yeah. Let me ask you the other question from the audience. How much humor is important in international speech? How do we incorporate that?
No, I won't answer this question, because we always say that when the guru of all the gurus of humorous is going to deliver an educational session about humorous speech on the same night, I don't say a single word. Devlal is here, and that he will definitely answer it in his humorous speech. You only need to combine the jokes in the humorous speech you will learn today from Devlal with your main speech, because you want to have that balance. And I'm sure Devlal will cover that in his speech, because how to incorporate that is part of how you are building the humor, right? So you want to build the humor, and you want to really make it look smooth, and you don't want to lose. And this is where I leave a note, a comment for all the speakers. Never let your humor become more attractive than your message, because then you lose 30 points in the speech about the value of the speech, because people will love you for your character, not for your message. And some judges are really, really listening, you know, they will say, he's very funny, but no speech value. So don't let the humor take out your grammar and be carried out, and you lose the key message.
That was a strong answer, yeah. One another question. How do we know if our gift, that is our message, is the right one to the audience?
The point is, anyone married here would know that his spouse would taste the food before it feed him, right? So you've tried the speech, you tried it in your own life. It actually affects. It's not like you're trying to, well, it would be good if we actually go in diet. So let me talk to people about it. It's, you try the medicine first before you prescribe it, right? So if I don't believe in my speech, why would I spend time building it and doing it? But if I had stories that formed my character today, why not to share it and tell the world that I'm from the future and I have seen things you may not have seen, or I'm from the past and I've seen things you have not seen. Let me show you how you live life in a better form. So try it on yourself first. If you lose your hair, then don't share it.
I don't want to lose my hair. Okay, that was a great session, and I have covered almost all the questions. If there are anything coming in, I don't think anything is coming in now. With
Okay,
this,
I
will leave
a message
20
here.
seconds.
I'm going to share my presentation in the chat box, and there will be my WhatsApp number. For anyone who has any questions, feel free to text me.
Yeah, please feel free to contact the facilitator at any time on your convenience. With this, thank you very much. Please join me with an encouraging to our speaker. Thunder of applause to the speaker. With this, let me hand over the stage back to the MC, Toastmaster Girish.
As they say, devil is in the detail. Thank you, Toastmaster Shami, for for giving us those tricks and tips to handle those details. Thank you, moderator, Toastmaster A.B. Lakshman. 55 intro, 70 body, and 50 conclusion. That's a new figure for me. Moving on, I have a new balloon twisting, and the first person who's going to guess that will again get a gift from my side. Guys, the first person who put it in the chat box, all right?
Dog.
You have to put it in the chat box, Iman.
Oh, I didn't know.
And you have to say which pride is that dog also.
No, that should be fine. I see the responses. Okay. So Toastmaster Rishi is the first one. Congrats, Toastmaster Rishi. Thank you everyone for participating. Now moving into the next segment, table topic contest. The person who is going to moderate is a person who is a president of IMT Dubai Toastmaster Club. She has been part of that club for more than a year. She has completed a level 1 in dynamic leadership. She is currently in India, but then the club is very close to her and she misses the club. The moderator is Kriti Bansal. I hand over the stage to Kriti Bansal. Kriti?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah. Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. So, hello, Toastmaster Sami on the International Speech Contest. It's time for table topics. During the session, I would like the audience to send their questions to me, Kriti Bansal, in a private chat. We will have a question and answer session after the training. Our next trainer is a guiding light to us, as well as all the... Yeah, sorry, I'll just start. Our next trainer is a guiding light to us, as well as all the other clubs in the division. He is a Toastmaster since 2015 and is currently a part of DSO and Take Debate Club. Throughout his journey, he has held numerous leadership roles. He is the immediate past Division B director. It will be a learning experience to listen the DTAC 2018 Table Topics finalist speak himself. So please welcome the ever charismatic, dedicated, and humble Toastmaster I have met, DTM Vinod Panikkar. Over to you, sir.
Hi, Kirti. Let me ask you the question without which a Zoom meeting cannot start. Am I audible?
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes. Thank you. I heard different versions of Kriti.
Yes, sir,
thank you very much. Okay. Thank you. So, good evening, everyone, to this Area 23 crack the code speech contest code means what is the information. After this wonderful education session of Toastmasters Sami, I am mesmerized. Now, he gave you the gift and he also made speech a person and gave it a vital statistics, right? The percentage of what you know, what you wanted in the body introduction and all these things. Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure, Sami. Now, table topics. 2 years ago, when I started this journey, means from club to area to division and district, 60 minutes every day from division to district contest, I used to practice. I used to drop my wife and come back. So you will not imagine the amount of practice that I had put. And I can tell you one thing, whatever happened during that particular 1 month changed my life. Today, as a trainer, I am so flexible. Like I can take topics, I can deliver impromptu. I'm always ready. So once you master something, and you can never be an expert. I believe that is a pursuit of a fool. That if he thinks he's a expert, I don't believe that. But definitely, you can master a skill by practicing it over and over again. So first, let me know, out of the 50 plus people, how many of you want to take part this year in table topic contest? Just type me. Okay, in the chat box, just type me. Let me see how many people over here are there to take part. Then I will customize my presentation based on that. Okay, only 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah, that's enough. 8 or 10 is enough. Very good. Now, From the time we get up in the morning till the time you go to sleep, we speak impromptu. Okay, we don't have a script to prepare that we are going to speak this. We are always speaking impromptu, and this impromptu skill, what is called as table topics in Toastmaster, is very helpful in every aspect of your life, be it business, be it your personal life, be it any other social interaction. Whenever you want to break ice with someone or talk on any topic, if you have mastered the skill of speaking impromptu, basically what it means is getting ideas out of your head in a structured way, right? So we will be seeing this approach from a contest point of view today. Okay, so let me share the screen. So many people over here are ready to take part in the contest. So let's keep the main point, the basic things to win a table topic. First of all, you should be eligible to participate in a contest. What does that means? You should be in a good you should be a good standing member. Your club should be in a good standing, and this should be throughout. For example, if you win in the club and if you are in the area and your membership is not active, you will be disqualified if somebody raises a protest. Second, okay, somebody had muted me. Am I audible now? Can I get a confirmation, please?
Yes.
Yes, now.
Okay, thank you. So first, be eligible to participate. Second, end your speech on time. Now, this may sound trivial. Okay. Now, let me tell you something what Manoj Vasudevan had told when he came 3 years ago and had a workshop with us. He said a story that he went to his mentor and said, I want to be a world champion. Okay. And he said, what to do? The mentor said, there are only two things that you need to do to ensure that you win a world championship. First, have a speech. Second, end it on time. Manoj said that he thought he was trying to make fun of him, but later in his journey, he realized that what the mentor told had lot of meaning. Even this year, we saw a disqualification at world championship level. So ending your speech on time and having a speech is the basic prerequisite to make sure that you are in the contention for winning. Later on, we can add all the flavors, style, delivery, and everything. But the basic thing is to ensure that you are able to end the speech on time. In table topics, it is also important to understand and reply to the topics appropriately. Okay, so that is why we need to listen properly, and then whatever ideas we have, we need to support it with a structure. And as Sammy had rightly said, we should have an introduction, we should have a body, we should have a conclusion. So to all the members, even who join newly, okay, for table topic, there is no requirement that you should complete so and so level. A member who just walked in during the contest day, and if the XCOM uploads the application and it is reflecting on the dashboard, they can participate on that particular day. Okay, so get this out. All the new members, I would request you take part in table topic contest right from this year. Don't think, even if you have an iota of doubt, don't think, just take part, because as I said, you just need to end your speech on time. That is the basic prerequisite, and just say something whatever you want to say to be in the contention. Now, okay, yes, now the table topic speech, it is for 1 to 2 minutes, most of you know, but something that I have observed in many clubs. Okay, a contestant will be disqualified if the speech is less than 1 minute. Many clubs say that if a speaker is speaking for at least 45 seconds, we will consider them for best speakers vote. In contest, my dear friends, it is not permissible. Okay, so have this habit of making sure, even if you are in your club level, the speaker is speaking till they see the green light. That is the minimum thing that you need to ensure that you are telling your speakers. Okay, now this again is something very important. You as a member will participate in the club. From club you will go to area, from area you go to division, from division you go to district, and table topic, humorous and evaluation stops over there. Okay, for all this thing you need to have a different strategy, because I may tell you need to read more, and if you are not a reader and you start reading too many books, it is not possible that the club contest is going to come in the next 2 months. You may not be able to gather so much information. So you need to have a strategy how you are going to attack your club contest, your area contest, your division contest, and your district contest. Have a clear roadmap in your mind, because all four will have different type of participation. In your club, if you have 30 plus members, maybe 25 people will take part in a table topic, but that is there. If you crack that, from there area it will be only 6 or 8, right? Then again division also 6 or 8. There the quality will matter. In the club, a basic structure can get you through a club contest. Okay, so remember this. This is the speech ballot on which you will be scored by the judges. It has got content, delivery, and language criteria. The content carries the most mark. 30 plus 25, 55. 30 is for physical, our style of delivery and voice, appropriateness, and correctness. I can tell you one thing: for any speech contest, content is the king, queen, prince, princess, everything. Okay, especially for table topic contest, you have to make sure that the contents are coming, it is related to the topic. So, and one more request, or I will do one thing after the session, I will share the rule book, because it is a good habit to go through the rule book and see the contest from the point of view of judges. Okay, some basic frameworks to structure your speeches. Now, we all will have ideas, but the problem is if you don't structure it, it will feel like a big stone, right? We need to give it a proper shape and sculpt it in a way that the judges can score it very easily, and they understand that this was the opening, this is the body 1 2 3 point or 1 or 2 point, and this was the closing. One simple method that can be used is a timeline approach. If you get a topic, and for example, what is success, what is your ambition in life? Okay, now you can take it: when I was a child, this, when I was means, or presently this is there, or in future I would like to do this. Okay, you are making a clear distinction between three things. This works very well in club, where it seems that you are very clearly structuring and giving a shape to your speech. But I have not seen this working very well in division and district, because there are other techniques that means, what you say, most of the speakers use, which comes across as very powerful. Okay, but try this technique, and I will give you how to practice also, and that is from my personal experience, what I had practiced. The two-sided approach, the pros and cons, and recommendation. Okay, for example, what do you think of online meetings? So instead of taking a stand for or against the stand, you can just say, see, I will look at this from this perspective. These are the pros, these are the cons. So if you want this, I would recommend this. If you want this, I would recommend this, right? A simple coin approach. This is 1 point, this is 2 point. Now, on the stage, I would say that for the timeline, you create three different plays for past, present, and future. And on for this, you will use one side and other side, right or left. On the screen also, you can move a little bit, right? On the screen also, you can move a little bit to show your approach, that these are the pros and these are the cons, right? And try to be friendly with the camera, move front, move back, all this thing, but that will come later in the delivery section. But try this approach in your clubs. Prep is the basic methods that is being used for all the contests, and it is very, very effective. For example, when you are given a point, I was a chief judge for the gavel contest of Division B. recently, and the topic was online schooling is good or something. The person, the boy who won, was very clear. Yes, it should be 1, 2, 3, and then he again reiterated the point, and he was clear winner. Means by the marks, it was very far away from everyone. The other good technique that you can use over here is you can go against the topic. Like one of the topic that I had got was in the division, uh, means does money equals happiness or something like that. I knew that most of the people would come and say no, it is family, it is this, it is that, it is this. I went against. I said, no, money is the most important thing in this world. It gives you vaccine. It gives vaccine for the poor. It gives educations for the poor. It pays my Toastmaster fees, whatever it is. Then you create your points, right? So going against the topic is also good, but make sure you have point to back up. So these were some of the approaches that you can use. This is what I feel is the best: telling a personal story. And just as Sammy had said, telling a story, making your point, right? Now, my favorite author and speaker, Les Brown, always says that never make a point without a story, and never tell a story without a point. And this is very, very powerful. Any topic that you get, for example, honesty is the best policy, or all that glitters is not gold. Okay, so you can give a story where you went for the glitter. You felt that that was good on the surface level, it looked good, and you went for it, but later on realized that it was not what actually it was, and then make a point instead of making the point itself in the beginning. No, I believe in this point, or I will do this, right? And one more good example that I like, what do you say, how would you bring change to the world? Okay, this was one of the topics that was asked, and I said a story. Like, there was a boy who, I will do it quickly. There was a boy who went to his father, who had the habit of reading newspaper every evening, and and he asked the father, said, Dad, can I play with you? The father said, no, don't you see I am busy? But the boy kept on insisting. The father saw a world map on the newspaper. He tore the newspaper and gave it to the boy, and tore it into 10 pieces and gave it to the boy, and told him, go and fix this jigsaw puzzle. He saw the boy, he thought the boy will take a lot of time, right? Because he is just a boy, he will not know where the countries are in the world. But in just 2 minutes, the boy came back saying, I fixed it. The father went amazed. What happened? Then the boy looked at the father and said, I know why you are thinking how this boy came to know where is Japan, where is America, where is UAE. He said, Dad, on the opposite side, there was a picture of a man. I don't know where America is, I don't know where Japan is, but I know where eyes are, where nose is. So I want to share that same message what that boy shared with you. Fix the man, the world will automatically get fixed. That's how you change people. So it has an impact. You don't take a stand in the beginning. I told this story in a hurry, but when you tell this with all that feelings, right, as Sammy had said, bring it alive, have a conversation, then it has a very, very good impact, and the judges will definitely give you high score on this. Now, this one is something that I learned in improv skill, and this technique is called as ABC. So for example, if I ask you what makes you happy, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? That is your A. The second thing that comes to your mind, that is your B. The third thing that comes to your mind is your C. Now start with C and come to A. It is something similar to tell a story and make a point, but this again is very impactful. So if you ask me what makes you happy, and I say A is my child's smile, B is when he is playing, 3 is when I see him when I come after work. So I may start with every weekday, I work for 10 hours and I have a boss who does this. But when I come home and see my child playing and look at his smile, that thing makes me happy. Now again, I am shortening this, but if I have to speak for 2 minutes, I will be elaborating my struggle, my pain, and then I will be showing that smile so that I can show you the effect, right? So with any topic, try to do this. So whatever comes to your mind first, let that be A. Then let the other come, what comes to your mind second, let that be B, and let the other thing that comes is C. Simple. What is your favorite ice cream? So if you say chocolate ice cream or vanilla, the answer is done, right? Over there. So you don't have to, then you're not able to make or create a story out of that. So instead of that, chocolate, okay, what is the first thing that comes to my mind? I am having it with my friends. What is the second thing that comes to my mind? Baskin Robbins or something in my place in Silicon Oasis. What is the third thing in my mind? I go on Fridays. Okay, so I wait for the entire week for the Friday to come so that I can go with my friends and have my favorite ice cream, something like that. So this is from going from C to A. Okay, now this is a 5 basic step formula that is written in Toastmasters manual also, where they have given how to be a good table topic speaker or how to be a good impromptu speaker. The problem is we don't read manuals much. Okay, so this has got very simple method: listen, pause, confirm, tell, and end. Now, listening is a skill. I would request you all to practice it. There are lots of exercise on online platforms where you can go read a passage and then there are some questions to be done from that. Do it. Okay. And the second thing is keeping your mind still. That is the most important thing in table topics. Jay Shetty says that what exercise is for body, stillness is for mind. Absolute stillness before you are attempting the topic. I had this experience only once. I may say that it is good, but it is difficult, I know. But once I had this, and I will tell you what actually happened during that time. I could feel the topic was coming to me flying, and due to the stillness of mind, I absorbed the entire topic, and every cell in my body was speaking for the topic. It is that powerful if you can keep your mind still for 1 or 2 minutes. And I will not tell you to do meditations, yoga, and all this thing. Just like the book 1 Minute Manager, where the author suggests that before doing any important task, just think for 1 minute about what would be the outcome. For 1 minute or 2 minutes before your speech, be very quiet and calm when you are in the breakout room or when you are in the other room, right? And when you are in front of the contest master, be calm. Just listen and absorb each and every word. Second, pause. Don't immediately jump, even if you are 100% sure and you have practiced it 1000 times. Don't attack the topic immediately. Now, in speech, we say that pause is a technique, silence is a message. So when you pause, people are expecting, the expectation goes up, right? So make sure you are using that pause time to retrieve the data from your stock, gather it, and then sort it. And how will you do that? Using retrieval words. Okay, now I am not going to take that particular thing over here, but retrieval words are words. For example, I use a word called rent. Okay, so if somebody tells me speak about success, so I have a definition, or I speak that success is not owned, it is rented, and you have to pay the rent each and every day of your life. Now, to remember all this is difficult, but to remember the word rent is easy. So that is my retrieval word. Okay, so when I get the topic, I will just search. If I get the retrieval word, I already got my first line. Okay, then I will go ahead and do the second. Retrieval words can be family, a place of travel, because immediately when you think of family, there are a lot of pictures that comes to your mind, experiences that comes to your mind, right? So retrieval words are very, very helpful. Gather and sort. Confirm, smile, and start. Okay, always have that smile on your face, and people can, even if it is on screen, audience understand whether you are nervous or not. Okay, so don't try to fake it till you make it, but keep smiling before the contest. Because what happens is, I have seen even for other contests, contestant will be standing like this, and they will be doing like this, and when the speech start, they will be right. Don't do that. As soon as you are on the camera, smile. Okay, look into the camera, look into the lens, smile, or even when you are face to face, have a pleasant face. Okay, and start slow. The advantage of starting slow is the audience and the judges will get sync to your voice and body language. Plus, you will get enough time to have your sec B and C, or means whatever points you want, to gather and sort that data. So if you start fast, then you have to think fast also. Start slowly. Contest master, this, that, whatever it is. Use the first 30 seconds or 15 to 20 seconds very slowly. Okay. So that even in the speech contest for the international, we say that let the first 45 minutes be slow, so that the audience gets absorbed and are in congruence with your voice and body language. Tell the structure and transition, and your last words linger. This is by Patricia Fripp, a keynote speaker, and she always says that your ending should be impactful because your last words lingers. People only remember what you said last. So that is very, very powerful. And I'm not able to see the timer. Can somebody say how am I doing on the time?
Master Vinod, you are on amber. You have 5 more minutes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, the speech organization, opening, body, and closing. Not only this is the basic structure, you need to ensure that the opening gets you attention from the audience. The body explains what you want to speak or how you are attacking the topic. And the closing should have a call to action, call to question, or something else that I will tell you now. Okay. But this is the basic structure that you can have. What is it that you can add in your openings? You can have a quote, you can have a humor, you can have a scenario where you say imagine, or you can ask a question, rhetorical question. So these four things can be added. For example, yesterday I was in one of the clubs in Oman which was celebrating 125th anniversary Orbit Toastmasters, and they gave me a topic about a brand, Seat Born Tough. Is it bad to be soft, something like that? So I said born tough or born soft, I don't know. I know that we were all born naked, right? And then I started my speech. So if you feel that you can add humor, it is the best, because whenever people laugh, the emotions are very positive, the vibes are very positive. Quotes, question, all are pretty repeatable. We see this in Toastmasters, but good to use. Closing, end a speech with a call to action, end a speech with a summary, or call to question. Now, end a speech with call to action is when you are giving an inspirational speech. If you get a topic like what is success, what is habit, something like that, and you say that we should do this, go ahead and do this. Okay, that is your call to action. Ending with speech with a summary is very effective in table topic. That means many people say that in table topic, say 1, 2, 3 points. But I personally feel that is very difficult. You cannot say that I'm going to give you the reason in 3 points. Okay. And some people say you say for first point and the second and third will automatically come. That is a very risky proposition. The better proposition is just keep on speaking and have a smooth transition. And during the summary, you now know that there were three things that you added. And these are the three things that I would like to do, and 1, 2, 3. So you can summarize with the points, but don't try to attack with the points if you don't remember the points clearly. Okay. Call to question is very powerful. I used it in recently in one of my training, this thing. I asked people who were the people in your life who have helped you. Okay. Who in a gratitude, that was a gratitude list exercise. And I asked them, who are the people in your life who have helped you? Write 3 people's name. And when everybody wrote, and then I asked them, whose list will you be on? And I ended the speech over there. That's it. So that gives enough food for thought for them to think, whom should I impact, right? The six serving mans, this is one of the most easiest way to dig out data: what, why, when, where, why, how. Okay, now how to develop a content. Let me quickly go through this. This is what I had done, and this is, I think, is very useful. That is why I'm sharing this. Read, write, reflect, observe, and write a lot. Buy a notebook or use an app. Now again, if your club contest is just 1 or 2 months away, reading full books would be difficult. So at that time, you can use a shortcut. You can read a summary of books. There is an app called as Blinkist, which gives you summary of books. For example, if I want to read How to Win Friends and Influence People, I can just go on Google and type summary of that particular book. I will get all the important points, right? So write it down where you can use this thing. Second is, have an individual point of view for your own self. Define what is life for you. Define what is success for you. Define what is failure, dreams, purpose, change in your own words. And one more technique, as the time is running, but I'll quickly go through how to read a book if you're reading properly. Before reading, Google the author's name and see a YouTube video. What happens then is, when you are reading the book, it feels that the author is having a conversation with you. And then the next level is, you can have a debate with the author, that you can challenge his ideas. I feel this is not right, this, okay? But at least go and see his YouTube video so that you know who the person is and his voice. The third is gratitude list. I am because of you, what I said in the previous one. Practicing tips. This is something I will end with here. Practice with one word topics. Because when you are given a full topic, like what is happiness for you, you know the context and you can make a story based on that. But if I give you one word, a bread, speak for 3 minutes or 2 minutes, it is very difficult, because then your smoothness, flow of speech also improves. Try this with your friends, with your kids. I do this with my daughter a lot, and it helps a lot because it makes you think really thoroughly and to structure the thought, and try to structure it. Okay, debate the topic. For example, if you are putting 2 minutes time, and if there is a topic, do you think head or heart is better? Okay, now the next speaker is DTM Devlal, who is my debate partner in my debate team, in our debate team in our next system. He believes that head means morality is important in a debate. I believe logic is important in a debate, right? So if you give me a topic and if I am speaking, I may say that heart is more important. Okay, why? Because when you are, no, sorry, head is more important. Why? Because when you think with head, you are thinking logically. Okay, so you are going through logical arguments and all this thing, and after 1 minute, change it. When you see 1 minute, change your stance. Why? Because it's a very difficult thing to hold two ideas in your mind at one place, in one place. So if you can get that, you will get off that switching, you will use this switching technique, and you can speak faster on many more techniques. So I may say that logic is not useful. Tell me, if A equal to B, B equal to C, that means A equal to C in logic. Okay, now if I say all fish have fins, starfish is a fish, does that means, according to logic, starfish have fins, but in reality it does not have. So logic does not help everywhere. Okay, something like that. The other one is the most important: 3, 5 and 10 topics at a time. Practice at least 3 topics minimum at a time with your friend or a mentor. And I used to do 10 topics at a time. Now I will not say go for 10, 3, 5 or 10 on a particular day. That would be helpful. Practice hard and practice easy. Both are very, very important. So whenever you are practicing, what happens is, after you practice for 3, after you tackle 3 topics, your brain gets exhausted. And then the actual work begins. And that is where your development will happen. Just practice this for a week and you will tell me that it is really working for you. Now this, again, club level strategy, area level strategy, division level strategy is different. So give your name immediately So what all we have done over here, we check the eligibility, we check the time management, we check the structure, the ballot sheet, opening, body, closing. Now go ahead and give your names for the club contest. Impromptu skill is a skill which will help you in every sphere of life. And as Ralph C. Smedley said, Toastmaster is a laboratory. This is the best place to practice so that you can improve in your real life. So I end with this. I would like to say thank you very much. The most effective way to do is to just go ahead and do. Best wishes for your contest. Thank you very much, all of you. I'm ready for the questions if there is any questions.
Yeah, yes, sir. So thank you, DTM Vinod, for taking us through the nitty-gritties of the table topic speech. I'll give you some questions which we had in the chat. So the first one is, how do you decide which technique to go for when you have less than 5 seconds?
This is that needs to be practiced. And if you can't say that I am going to use this particular topic for this particular technique. It depends upon the topic. For example, topics are based on, it may be on a theme, life, success, habit, change, and all this thing. Some topic may be imaginary. If you get a chance to live with Thomas Edison, what would you ask? Right? At that time, what technique at that present of a point of time is most suitable, you will use that
So the
particular
next
thing.
one is,
Yeah.
okay. So the next question is, how long should the story be in a 2-minute table topic speech?
The story, see, it's a 2-minute speech, so it's 200 words. So it can be only 50 to 60, like what you say, words only. So a story cannot be a very long story. It has to be just 50 to 60 words. That should be okay. So one personal story is more than enough. One personal good story is more than enough.
Yeah. So the third question is actually answered by you now. That the third was, should we go for a personal story or a third person story?
Personal
So
stories always touch emotions, touch the heart. Now,
and
one
there's
thing
the
I would like to tell you is the purpose of any story is to elicit emotions. And the best way to elicit any emotion is by telling a personal story.
and so there's a last question. How to tackle a situation when we are completely unaware of the topic?
That can happen, and it has happened to me also a lot of time. There are two techniques. One is the coconut and the tree, like what is the cow and the coconut approach. That is, you are told to speak on the cow, but you don't know about it. So you tie a rope to it, take it to a coconut tree, tie it around, and start speaking about coconut. Okay, that means you link it to something else that you know, and then you start speaking about that particular thing. That is one of the most easiest way to do. Or second, if something is really tough, means it has given some words that you don't know, accept it and say that there are some situations in life where nothing comes out and you get constipated. I am feeling the same. And say something in your life when you were in such a situation and how you came out, right? Because you can't be blank for 2 minutes, and you expect that others will also feel the same and they are not going to speak anything.
And one more question we just got in the chat. So can we start with a story and end with it?
Start with the story and end with the story, reiterating the story.
Yeah.
No, I didn't get it. If you start with a story, you end with the point. If you are
Okay.
starting with a story, you end with the message what it had.
Okay, so I think that is it for the questions. So is there any other question in the chat? I don't think we have. So thank you, DTM Vinod Panikar. It was a
Thank you.
really insightful session. And yeah, over to our MC, Toastmaster Girish.
Listening from the champion is always great. Thank you, DTM Vinod Panikar, for all the insightful, tips and the approaches. Thank you, Toastmaster Kriti Bansal, for moderating the sessions. And since we are cracking the codes, there is one more code for you guys. And whosoever gets the first, please put it in the chat box. All right. Okay. Here you goes. It might not see, but I think you will make out. Is it visible? Okay, we have got the answer. It's a giraffe. Yes. Thank you, Toastmaster Abramian. Thank you. Thank you everyone for participating. And with this, we have the next contest. That's a humorous speech contest. That's my favorite one. And I'm hoping for some suggestions. That the person who is going to moderate this contest is someone who has been with DSO from last 2 years. She is leading this year's with the secretary role for a DSO Toastmaster Club. And please put your hands together to welcome Toastmaster Farah Imran. Toastmaster Farah Imran, screen is yours.
Yes, Girish, am I audible?
You are audible. Yes.
My video is clear?
Video is also clear.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. I am Farah Imran, and I am the moderator of this segment on humorous speech contest training. And if among the audience, if you have any question, please feel
Farah, you are muted. Can you speak now?
Hello.
Yeah, now it's okay. Yes.
Okay. So I am the moderator of this segment on humorous speech contest training, and among the audience, if you have any question, please feel free to drop your question to me in private chat. Today, I am absolutely delighted to introduce one of our shining star of Toastmasters Galaxy. He has been a Toastmaster for 14 years, an immediate past director of Division H. He worked as a training manager for an offshore service company. He is co-founder of Top Cloud, a training and consulting company. He likes to watch cartoons and movies. And by the way, he is afraid of spiders. Oh my God. So today he will be sharing with us his expert opinion on how to win humorous speech contest. Please join hands together to welcome DTM Devlal Sahadevan. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Farah. Good evening, everybody, or good evening goes out to all the wonderful people out there. A couple of confessions before we get started. The first confession is that my screen keeps telling me, you can all hear me, right? I hope so.
Yes, we can. Yes.
My screen, my screen keeps telling me that my bandwidth is low. So in case, I get kicked out of the meeting, it's not because I want to take a coffee break. It's simply because of poor internet. I think almost everybody right now is online and watching movies or something of that sort. It could be the reason. Okay. Okay, what else? I don't have 101 tips on winning your next humorous speech contest. No, I have a few. And I'm not here to give you that amazing secret formula also, right? What I'm about to share are mostly my personal opinions and, of course, stuff that actually worked for me. So it's from that personal point of view. I will try to keep it as interactive as possible. I don't mind you grabbing the mic in between if you want to ask something. I have absolutely no problem. I love people interrupting me. And have you ever noticed that during an online meeting, especially these kind of sessions, you learn things, new things. For example, the other day, I straightened a paperclip, okay? I went like once and then put it back again, a second time and a third time. And then I realized that you can straighten a paperclip only 4 times and then it breaks. Did you ever know that? No, you didn't, right? So how do we come across this kind of universal facts during online meetings and so on? Rand Smetley told us a long time ago, people learn in moments of enjoyment. I mean, we generally like to be with people who are interesting, who can strike up an interesting conversation. People who crack jokes. I mean, one of my favorite pastimes is to listen to stand-up comedy and stuff like that. I rarely read motivational books. I'm sorry, I'm not a motivational speaker. But that's just the way I am. And I believe there are quite a few people like me. My idea this evening is to share a few things that will make us a little more tolerable in this world of online meetings, and of course, win a humorous speech at the end of it. I'm going to share the screen because that's what everybody does, all right? So I'm going to share the screen very quickly, and I hope you all can see it. Crafting a funny one. How do I go about crafting a funny speech? First question, a lot of Toastmasters. I wouldn't say a lot of Toastmasters. There are quite a few Toastmasters who would, and mostly I think it is because of a stigma attached to this whole humorous speech contest is this. It's tough business. And you know why they say, it's easy to annoy people, it's easy to make people scared, it's easy to make enemies out of people, but it's not that easy to make people laugh. This is the usual logic people would say. Now, perhaps a little bit of that is true. So let's try to see if there is an easy way out. Maybe there are. And the first question is this. If I'm mentoring someone, most of the time, the first question is this. And there are a lot of Toastmasters out there who would keep us saying this, where do I find topics? What is the funniest topic? Can you suggest a very funny topic for me to start writing a humorous speech on? That's often the question that you have. So what is this topic? How do you get to a topic? And my simple answer, even though it may sound silly, is that anything. All right. Now, I cannot see all of you. I'll have to scroll through a huge list of participants, but if I could have a volunteer, I may have a silly question to ask you. I just want you to tell me some random, mundane, boring things you do almost every day. Any volunteers, just grab the mic and shout.
Hello, can I go?
Washing
Who's that?
dishes?
Yes.
Who's that?
Attending classes.
All right, okay. May I have a name, please?
I polishing my shoe.
Oh, okay. Is that Ravi?
Yeah, it's me. Yes.
All right.
It's Ravi,
Okay. Now, Ravi, he polishes his shoes every day. I don't know if I believe it, but anyways, I'll take it. Okay. So he says he's going to polish his shoes. What can go wrong when you polish shoes? Not right now, because we are going to take a mundane, boring stuff you do almost every day. Now, I know that there are people out there who probably do this religiously. Okay, they spend like 10 minutes on it and they look at the shoe, waiting to see the reflection on the shoe. I mean, I'm not talking about maniacs, and I'm just talking about regular people, right? There's a speech stopping waiting to happen in that. So what could go wrong? Just randomly give me some ideas. What could go wrong when you're polishing your shoes? Hello?
You can use a wrong shoe polish.
A wrong shoe polish, all right. You mean maybe you
Color,
have a white
black,
shoe and
brown,
use black.
brown.
Oh, the black and brown. Okay. It would have been. I think it would have been a little more funnier if you have a white, tennis sneakers and you put black polish on it. That would have been really nice. I would love to see that happen. Yes, but I'll take that. Okay. Anybody else?
You could
paint
have
your
it.
finger.
Oh, just one person at a time, please.
Paint your finger.
Paint your finger. Okay. Instead of the shoe, you polished your finger. Why would you do that though? Okay. You mean you applied it on your finger and then you realize, oh my God, this is not my shoe.
You're holding the shoe in your hand and you let the polish.
Okay. Fine. I got it. I'm just kidding. Of course, that is how it happens, right? And I think a little bit of that has to rub onto your fingers or something. You see where I'm getting with it. You have an important meeting. You probably pulled out your shoe, realize that it's too dusty, and then you're holding it, and then you start polishing, and you polish, and you see your hand is also polished. Now that could be the starting. And from there, almost all you got to do is just use imagination, get a bit of mentoring, ask around, observe, and you can build on it. So the first thing is, don't think too hard don't break your head, don't rack your brains on too much on topics. Okay, there is no perfect topic out there. There's no funniest topic out there. Almost anything can be converted if you have a little bit of imagination. But to get into that habit, you need to get started. So pick up on some silly thing to get started and then start writing. Oh, I know the common reaction to that kind of a statement. It's so easier said than done, isn't it? What do you mean by start writing? What I mean to say is this. There are a lot of people, especially, your speech coaches. And once again, it's just my opinion. Okay. They would tell you, your speech needs to be Absami very well mentioned that. He explained it pretty well. They would tell you about 750 word limit, and you got to have the structure and so on and so forth. Do not think about all that. If you're going to craft a humorous speech, what is important is that you just start writing. What is the first line? I was polishing my shoes. That could be it. Okay. So do not worry too much about the structure and stuff like that. Just start writing. And when you start writing, sometimes you get about a paragraph. Sometimes you get 2 lines. Sometimes you may get 1,500 words, but that's all right. That is just your raw material. You're going to refine the product a little later. So the first time, just write whatever comes in your mind. It might not be even funny, but that's okay. Getting started is important. And then slowly, through the refining process, you will create a funny speech out of it. So first process, let it be a random topic and start writing with whatever comes in your mind. Structure is important. A lot of speech members will go crazy on this. And it is important because if you look at the judge's ballot, it speaks about it, right? The opening and the body and the conclusion. But in the beginning, my suggestion is forget about it. Don't look at your opening and body and conclusion. Start writing. We will give that structure later at a much later stage. So keep that aside for the time being. Next, remember that what is the purpose of a humorous speech? Can anyone quickly give me a shout out on what do you think is the purpose of it? What is the purpose of a humorous speech? Anyone?
Make people to laugh.
Make people to laugh. Thank you so much, sir. Who was that, by the way?
A.B. Lakshman.
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster A.B. Lakshman. That is it. All right. Yes,
also,
that is all. Okay.
Make the audience feel they're less miserable.
I believe that happens at the end of it, right? Yes, thank you very much. Was it Yusuf? Was it you, Yusuf?
Yes, Yusuf.
I believe it was Yusuf. I would like to believe so. So please remember, sometimes people, take this whole business a little too seriously. I want to go out and change the world, and I want to inspire people. Leave that for the international speakers, international speech contestants. Your job is to make people laugh, and that is the only thing you want to do. So don't take yourself too seriously. Okay, be all right. Be okay with the idea of making yourself the butt of your own jokes, looking a little stupid and a little bit demented and a little bit confused and stuff like that. All that will work for you if you are a humorous speaker. Don't be too serious about it. And sometimes, people will unnecessarily give this kind of an aura about yourself, and then it's difficult to elicit laughter once you create that kind of a persona. For example, if I'm about to tell you that I went to the market and on a bicycle and fell into the ditch, people may laugh. But if I say that last year I was with my family, I was vacationing in Switzerland, and I got out of my Range Rover and I fell into a ditch, nobody is going to laugh. Okay. But if I say when I went to Meena Market on a bicycle, I fell into a ditch and I found a fish from the ditch, there is a better chance of people laughing at it. So don't take yourself seriously. Don't create this bigger than yourself persona about it. Be humble. Stay grounded. That's something important that will help you with humorous speeches. A couple of basics, not all of that, a few of them, because we've got only 20 minutes, right? You've got to connect with the audience. And do you understand this? Do you realize that people will laugh at your jokes if they like you? And if somebody is there on the stage, and if for example, I don't like a person, okay, and he's on the stage and he's cracking jokes left and right, do you think I will laugh? No, I'm going to sit there like I'm attending somebody's funeral service. That's just human nature. So you've got to come across as a likable person. And a likable person, there are a few things that work. One is a conversational tone. Do not go there and try to preach down 10,000 people trying to convert them. Keep it conversational, keep it light. Okay. And people like to. And don't try to elevate yourself. Let you be the most stupid person in the entire audience. People will love that. Okay, let the jokes be on you. So that is how you create a connect with the audience. So once you've got them, half the job is done. Once the people like you, 80% of the job is done. Second, purpose. We already explained that we established the purpose of a humorous speech is to just make people laugh. And I've remembered some really, really funny topics way back, when we were all District 79, when Saudi Arabia was part of us. Isa, Toastmaster Isa, he spoke about, there was speakers who talk about the Gatra, what Arabs wear around the head. He used multiple uses of it. Somebody even spoke about the different uses of a WC. It doesn't have to be groundbreaking. It can be really simple. Okay, the purpose is to make people laugh, stick to it. Safe humor. It goes without saying. And I'm not talking about taboos here. What I'm saying is that sometimes what you say could offend people, and then people wouldn't laugh because it's like, you leave a barb in the skin and they constantly try to, they're constantly reminded of it, they wouldn't laugh at you. What does that mean? It could be a political statement. For example, I'm going to talk about somebody who had a weight problem. And all my jokes are about, maybe pleasantly plump people. And if out of the 9 judges sitting in front of me, if 7 of them do have a weight problem, I don't think it's going to work. Half of the audience will not laugh. Now, if I'm skinny and if I make fun of myself, that is okay. That's understandable because I'm going to make myself the butt of my own jokes. But if your joke is directed at a group of people, that may not work. So you got to understand your audience. What age group do they belong to? What's the culture, the language? In a Toastmasters, it's a multicultural environment. There it's all the more important. Okay, we shouldn't put the ego of the other person on the wrong side. It just doesn't work for us. So try to keep it safe. If you are in doubt, please ask around and just make sure it is safe. Moving on. How do you become funny? Okay, that's again a $1 million question. So here I'm going to share a few thoughts. Once again, these are very personal. If you ask the other humorous champions, who have achieved a lot more than me, they would sometimes give you their own. So these are just mine, and it works for me. One thing is called the rule of 3. You must have heard about this. There is a misdirection which will lead to a surprise. For example, you have a setup which is in 2 stages, which could be 2 sentences, and then a punchline. An example could be like this. When we die, we will see the light at the end of the tunnel. When my father dies, I believe he will also see the light. He will move towards the light, and then he will switch off the light so he can serve electricity. See, that is called misdirection. Because I'm going to take you in one particular path, and I'll take you a little further, and you expect something that is connected to that will happen. But then, you take them in another direction. This is called that misdirection surprise, the rule of 3. It's a common technique. You cannot make a speech out of this, but you would find instances in your script that will help you achieve this. It's just one of those techniques. There are probably, like I said, there could be 101 techniques. We are just going to look at a few. Voice, dialogues, and gestures. I told you, when you're on stage, don't take yourself too seriously. Try to play with your voice. Use dialogues. If I'm going to ask a person, hey, where is the fish market? I went and asked him where the fish market was. No, I wouldn't say that. I would say, I went. I tapped on his shoulder and then, do you know where the fish market is? You have to use dialogues to your advantage. Maybe I would even change my voice. I'll change my accent. You bring the characters alive. All those will help you to be funny. Number 3, gestures. If you're on stage, wonderful. Well, now when you are watching me on this little rectangular screen or on a mobile phone, the only thing that I can use are, my stubby fingers. But feel free to use it. There is no reason to plop them down in my lap, and use them whenever it is needed. Use it purposefully, but don't feel like you are in a straitjacket. Gestures will help you, and also it kind of helps us to loosen up, so you look confident on screen. Punchline and timing. I'll show you a quick video while we are at it, and I hope by then we should be able to, with the help of that video, I believe you can understand what exactly is what I mean by timing. Because if I have to give you a faint definition, timing is you have a setup, and when you deliver the punchline, there is a fraction of a delay between that setup and the punchline. This is called as the timing. And if that timing is not correct, you cannot elicit laughter. For example, if the joke that I told you, even the rule of 3 joke, about the light at the end of the tunnel, if I say it flat without any gap in between, you wouldn't laugh. You wouldn't laugh. So you've got to pause it for a second, let people sink in, let them, carry them with you, and then you deliver it. So that timing, I'll show you a quick video for you to understand what that means. And a callback. How many of you remember DTM Kathrak's winning speech, DTAC speech in 2016? Do you remember the title of the speech? Anybody? You can grab the mic and tell me. Hello? Are you listening?
It was about cigarette?
Dr. Kathrak's humorous speech, winning speech in 2016 in Abu Dhabi.
It was about bringing in bad luck with whoever he shook hands with. Something why?
Ask me why.
Okay. See, almost everybody remembers what he used. Ask me why, right? Isn't it? Ask why or ask me why. That's what you remember. But the speech title was not that. The speech title was something like Shake It Up. Okay. But then do you remember?
Yes, Shake It Up. It was Shake It Up.
Shake It Up. It was Shake It Up. But people don't really remember the title of the speech. What they remember is Ask Why. It's called as a callback. It is something you use repeatedly in a speech to elicit humor. And it's got to be used at the right moment to create that. It could be one sentence. It could be a small phrase, something like that. Once you have crafted your speech, look for opportunities where you could use a callback. And this is, again, a wonderful way of eliciting, of extracting humor out of your script. Truth versus lie. What does that mean? If I were to tell you what exactly happened today in my life, probably it could be a horror story. Okay. Now, truth is not always very funny, but you've got to mix about 70. I don't really know how much is a percentage. I don't have the data. I'm just assuming this crap. I'm just saying, 75% has got to be true, and about 25% it's got to be a lie or an exaggeration. Then only you will get humor out of it. So I would say that I was so skinny, people wouldn't even notice me in the class. It's not very funny because people would obviously notice me. But if I were to say that when I was so skinny, when I was a kid, my mother used to lock me up in a room and then only she would switch on the vacuum cleaner. Now that will elicit more laughter because you can kind of visualize that. And I'm skinny. That's the 75% truth. And this 25% lie is what my mother does. She will switch on the vacuum cleaner only after locking me up so that I don't get pulled into it, right? You understood that. So the lie needs to be a little bit believable, but the truth needs to be the truth. So don't just say that, well, I just jumped out of my window and I flew like a Spider-Man into my office because it was too late. Nobody will believe you. So keep that truth, about 75%, the lie or the exaggeration will work for you. That's another one. How much time do we have? I can see the timer.
We're just over time.
We are over time. Oh boy. All right. Okay. So I'm going to leave you with this just for you to understand the timing part. Very quickly, I may have to do this one more time. All right. Just very quickly.
Good evening. My name is Michael Davis. Thank you.
Did you get that? Did you understand what happened there? That is what is called as timing. Okay. It's just a little pause that can elicit laughter. That's what I actually meant by timing. I am going to stop this session here and I will leave you with two things. One is this: get into a random topic, start writing, and start writing and write it. Even if it goes into 2 pages, just keep writing and then start the process of refining it. 3 things are very important. One is for you to observe, look around, look at people, watch. There are topics lying all around us. All right. Number 2, after your first speech, second speech, third speech, collect feedback. And one of the most important feedbacks that I would request you to collect is from your own video. Every time you speak, record it. Maybe on your mobile phone, record it, go back to it. There are a lot of things your mentors and evaluators can tell you, but a lot more can actually be learned from your own videos. That is number 2. And number 3, keep practicing it. Just do it all over as many number of times. If you need any proof, just go and watch the video of Darren Lacroix before he became a world champion. He made an attempt, his first attempt at stand-up comedy. Unbelievable. You would never believe that that person finally became a world champion. Okay, not all Toastmasters are funny all the time. Not all champions deliver consistently funny speeches all the time. Not all of us are funny all the time. No, so there are times we fail, and every time you fail, you pick up something from that and proceed. So I wish you good luck. And if I know that I have overtaken the time, but maybe a minute to answer questions. Thank you.
Wow, DTM, you have filled my brain with ideas. It was a great session. Here are some questions for you. How to move on if your audience don't react to the joke the way you want to? How to move on if the audience don't react to the joke the way you want to?
Okay. Oh, well, it happens to the best of us, right? Sometimes you work so hard on a joke and it falls flat. My suggestion is that it will happen. It will continue to happen. No matter how much you prepare, there are times when sometimes the joke will fail. All you got to do is just leave it. Don't even blink your eyelids. Move on to the next one. Because if you linger there, then you're going to attract more attention to that situation. So just go ahead with the second one. Probably the second one will get you a bigger laugh. That's it. Move on.
The second question is, in an online contest, how to gauge if audience are laughing and to see if my humor is landing?
Another tough one. I know right now, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to assume that you all are in love with me. You all like me so much that you're going to swallow hook, line, and sinker everything that I'm going to do. I'll have to just assume that these 46 people right now online, they have logged in because they want to listen to me. They wanted to listen to Vinod. They wanted to listen to Sami and Anisha. I need to believe that in the beginning itself that you are with me, okay? I just need to assume that if I had the privilege of standing in front of an audience where there were 100 people, then I can extract that energy out of it. But in an online meeting, an online session like that, I just need to imagine that. I need to imagine laughing faces. That's the only way this is going to work. How do newsreaders and television anchors and all, present these funny stuff and engage people? They don't have anybody to look at. They are looking at a bunch of people standing in a shade with a camera, right? They don't see anybody, but still they do that. Still they connect with you. How do they do that? It's just that you just need to imagine that you are in control and you are funny. That's it.
The third and final question is, do you take notes of situations happening to you in work, gym, home, wherever, so you don't forget them and you may use in speeches?
Yeah, actually I do. I don't know, people do it in different ways. I am the kind of guy, if I have to go home, for example, I'm going back on vacation, I need to write down everything. I need to write down, shoes, belt, wallet, passport. Otherwise I'll forget. I'm so absent-minded. So sometimes I have the habit of noting down stuff. I survive based on checklists, but not everybody. Some people can't remember. That's, I think, is a personal question. But if you come across a good joke or a nice one-liner or a cartoon, and if you think that could be material for a future speech, I would say yes, go ahead. Keep a repository, keep a diary of good ideas. It will always help. Yes. I think you're muted. Farah?
Yeah, there are no more questions there.
All right, thank you so much. You've been a wonderful audience.
Being a part of this event. Okay, thank you. Over to you, MC Girish.
Thank you, DTM Devlal, and thank you, Toastmaster Farah Imran, for moderating this session. Since we are running out of time, let's quickly jump to the next session, which is an evaluation contest. And the person who is coming to moderate is the person who has been with Toastmaster from last 2.5 years. She is, by profession, is nurse assistant, admin, and the university teachers. Please welcome me in joining Toastmaster Nezla. Nezla, screen is yours.
Good evening, everybody. Am I audible and visual?
Yes.
So good evening, fellow Toastmaster. Good evening to all the audience present here. I'm a moderator for the evaluation and the last session for today, and our speaker or our educational session will be done by a doctor, writer, and an artist. And I believe in myself, my belief, that who can join this, he is a gifted person with a special personality. She's a pathway guide, a part of Division B ICDC winning team 2017. She's runner-up at Interdivision Debates 2018-2019 and a finalist for evaluation at DTAC 2019. Please welcome with me and DTM Dr. Nisha Vergas. Over to you, Doctor.
Hello, everybody. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Here we are at the end of a marathon session, and look at this. According to me, evaluation is the most technical of the 4 segments. No worries, we will manage it. Your area director, Pragnya, was telling me that I have to deconstruct an evaluation contest, and I was wondering, how do I deconstruct evaluation? Before answering that, I will start sharing my screen. Yes. So according to me, if you ask me how an evaluation can be deconstructed, how it should be, I would say it has to be effective, exacting, and exciting. Exciting for the speaker on whose speech you are evaluating, exciting for the audience, and exciting for you as a contestant. That is how I would put it. Effective, exciting, and exacting. As in any contest, it is very important that we are comfortable with evaluations. In order to be comfortable with evaluations, we have to be pre-prepared. Just like a marathon runner can't run so many kilometers in just one day, it has to be slowly built up. The same way, the comfort in evaluations has to be built up through time. For that, what I would suggest is take up your evaluation seriously. Do evaluations whenever you are asked to. And I would say, whenever you take up an evaluation, don't just go by the Pathways evaluation form. Ask the speaker to send you the PDF, the details of that speech, so that you can read up what that project is about. In that way, as you go through several evaluations, you are actually building blocks. You become familiar with several segments of speeches. So any speech that the mystery speaker comes up with at the evaluation contest, you are already comfortable with it. And many people, they go through YouTube videos, which I never do. That is also but a method of seeing good evaluations. You can see a lot of contests, you attend contests and see a lot of evaluators perform. While the evaluators are performing, you can do dummy evaluations. Also, it is a good habit if you can evaluate champion speeches. You feel that, how can you ever find areas of improvement for a champion speech? Try doing that. Also get your evaluation evaluated by the general evaluator. So these are all methods by which you are slowly training yourself to be an effective evaluator. And be abreast with what the judge's sheet is about. Through all these methods, you slowly built up your style, your comfort zone of how to go about with an evaluation. That is your pre-preparation. I know it is almost like a 12-point program, but these set of behaviors slowly make you very adept at this art and you start enjoying it. So that was what I was speaking about. Now I spoke about the judge's sheet. This is the basic foundation on which An evaluation contest can be deconstructed. As you know, there are 4 segments to an evaluation sheet for the judges sheet for evaluation. Those are analysis, which gets a lion's share of points, that is 40 marks. Then you have recommendations, again 30 marks there. Then you get 15 and 15 for technique and summary. So let us see how each deconstructed part, how it turns out to be. The first part, analysis. For many a speaker, analysis is like a conundrum. You don't know exactly what this analysis is about that you see in the judge's sheet. So first, what I would like to tell you is, an analysis, according to the dictionary, is a detailed examination of the elements of something. And the judge's sheet says it has to be clear and focused. So that is what you need, a crisp and succinct examination. It is very important that you understand what are the wrong approaches to analysis. First of all, while doing an analysis, if you're doing a rehash of the speech, today you spoke about your life. You spoke about how you came up as a little boy in Philippines, and then you grew up in the city. Don't give a summary of the speech, a rehash. That is not an analysis. A second wrong approach is when you give us personal take on the topic. When you spoke about your life, I was reminded of my life in India, how I grew up. That is also, again, a wrong approach. Also, sometimes we speak about, I've always seen you speak about stories. I always enjoy your speeches. These are not ideal ways of going towards an analysis. In order to understand an analysis with focus and clarity, the ready reckoner for you, or the Bible for you to go and refer what an analysis is, the easiest would be to go through the competent communication manual, the traditional manual. Any Toastmaster who has been around for more than 3 years, if you ask that person will get you that competent communications manual. Keep a copy of it, and if you read through that, you know what an analysis is. What are the elements of speaking? And from this, we can build on what were the techniques that were used by the speaker. For a novice speaker who is not serious about evaluation, you just want to test the waters, you can go through that. You can go to Basecamp, and there you can see the generic evaluation sheet. If you go through it, that is a very basic, that gives a very basic idea of what analysis can be done on. And again, the judge's sheet also gives you a clear idea of what is exactly wanted from you. So in analysis, what you do is you check through the elements of speech which has been used by the speaker and how it has been conducive for the effectivity of that particular speech. That is what analysis is about. If the time permits, we can have a speaker and we can try to analyze our speech today. The second part is recommendations. In recommendations, again, how do you go about recommendations? There are 3 aspects which the judge's sheet speaks about. It has to be positive, it has to be specific, it has to be helpful. That are the 3 aspects that has been deconstructed there. For me, I would say, when you are writing down recommendations, when the person is speaking, write down all the recommendations that you feel are there. When you are giving the evaluation, pick and choose what you want and pick and choose unique ones. Don't miss out on the obvious ones, mention it, but have a detailed analysis of the unique ones. That will help you be more impressive as an evaluator. And also, it is very important that you are positive. So how do we be positive? I will tell you how you will not be positive. If you are a brutal evaluator, where you have found lots of areas of improvement and you're going to thrash the speaker, that is not a positive approach. Another positive approach which is not positive is when you give a lot of praise. You feel that this speaker is a very important person in the fraternity. I should not give this person any areas of improvement. No, there you are actually not helping the speaker. You actually find ways to put it across in a positive manner, but you have to give recommendations. Otherwise, you're actually stagnating that speaker as far as an evaluator's role is concerned. And finally, you have to give practical evaluations, practical recommendations. If it is a novice speaker, a speaker coming for the first time, and you are saying in your evaluation, your voice modulations have to be improved, that is not practical. The person would be wonder what is modulate. You have to maybe just speak about opening, closing, looking at people's faces, that is enough. So you have to be practical with your recommendations. And when you give recommendations, how do you be specific? You tell them what exactly has to be changed. If you're speaking about voice modulations, you can say, it is not always about emoting other people's voices. Voice modulation can be, if it would have been great if you had raised your voice at the conclusion and made that strong statement. In that way, you can be specific and you can help them by telling them how, exactly how. You yourself show the speaker and the audience how it could have been better than you are convincing. And some pointers I already told you, write down. Never feel that you will remember it. Write down all the points, areas of improvement, and pick and choose later. And the third segment is technique. Technique is the manner in which you present your evaluation. And the sheet says, technique has to be sympathetic, sensitive, and motivational. Here, being sympathetic, as I told you, if sympathetic in the sense you have to understand the speaker's ability as a speaker, the speaker's capacity as a speaker. You have to go outside the premises of a contest and understand the speaker has to be helped and then speak. Then that becomes more effective. It becomes more sympathetic automatically. Sensitive in the sense, it is not exactly critical evaluation. It is critical. It is not criticism that we give. We are giving recommendations, the right word that is being used. And how do we be sensitive to use the evaluator's language? I would not say you did not. I felt that it is always I felt. I wished. It would have been great if. It is not you did not. You should have. You were great, but these are not the ideal evaluator's language. It is not sensitive. It is my opinion. So I would say, I would have loved it if it was like this. It would have been great. Use sensitive language. And finally, always, your evaluation has to be motivational, where you are professional, you are pleasant, you are friendly, and you are able to convince the speaker that your recommendations are valid, and you end on that positive note. That is very important in your technique. Now for the last one, that is the summary. Summary again carries 15 marks, so it is important that you save some time for this. And how do you do a summary? It has to be concise and it has to be encouraging. In one sentence or a couple of sentences, you're encapsulating your whole evaluation once again. You're not repeating the words. You have to make it interesting. And you are reiterating it to the speaker, what you exactly told him or her. You are giving the audience a time to comprehend what you exactly said. And then you are also giving time for the judges to understand in totality, what did you exactly speak today? And this makes an impact. A summary, it has to be present. It is not a rephrasing. It has to be present in such a manner that you sound impressive. The speaker understands the areas of improvement and the speaker's strengths, and the audience also gets a take back in that one summary. And you always end on something interesting. That's how the evaluation comes to its totality. That is why I feel it is a hybrid between a table topics and an international speech. This is somewhere you are prepared as an evaluator, but you don't know what the speaker is going to come up with. So I find it very exciting to do those evaluations. I'm sure you also feel the same. Now, I would like to give some advanced skills which I came across while doing all these interesting evaluations. These are not skills which help you in winning, but these are skills which would help you in excelling. First of all, understand that an evaluation is not a report. It is a speech in itself, a 3-minute speech where you have a captivating opening and a strong closing, and in between you have 3 aspects, which is analysis of the speech, recommendations, and the summary. And this is presented in a motivational manner, and the technique becomes automatically right. When I speak about how you package a speech, before that, I would speak about how to write down the evaluation. It is important that we write down in bullet points, not in long drawn sentences. If you write long sentences, it takes up time. It is difficult for you to read it again while you're on stage. Also, you will miss the points after that which the speaker is speaking. Also, when you write down, you have your own comfortable technique of how you write it down, whether you write it in a list, whether you write it on both sides of the page. You find your own mental map as to how you will write down the points. And also, always remember to write the name of the speaker, the title, the time taken by the speaker, the names, any references, any figures, write it down. It is a lie to ourselves if we feel that if we will remember, we will not. So write it down. Also, sometimes there are some untapped, some things which you feel the speaker has really done great. Note it down. Don't forget to mention it. Sometimes you feel that for this particular speech, something was really missing. Write it down. That'll be the crucial point for you. And when the next point, that is packaging. In packaging, I feel, how do you impress the speaker? How do you package, you gift wrap, as Sammy told you, your speech as a whole? Don't start with an unrelated quote. It is not necessary that you have a quote. If you have a quote, well and good enough. Find something interesting to start with, and use words which are not, if the speaker was struggling, don't say that it was a great speech. Say that it was a great attempt. Use the right words. Have a repertoire of words with you to use according to the reality of the situation. Sometimes you come pre-prepared. It does not always work well, because if you're planning to speak about a biryani or a fried rice as an analogy in your speech, you may be placed. But if somebody comes up with a style of speaking which that person picked on the spot, that speech would always fare better. But it is good to have analogies. It is always good to pick from the speech then and there some fresh idea which you get there, which you are excited about. Think about it, present it, have new ideas come up as you prepare. That will work very well. Another aspect is we often wonder whether you should write notes, you should take your notes on stage. It is all right to take your notes if you need it. But if you find difficulty in reading, don't take it, you will fumble. Also, if you don't have notes, it shows your confidence, it shows your experience. Sometimes people use cue cards. That also can cause some fumbling. If you are comfortable, you can use that. Again, whom to address. While speaking, I would always address the audience, but I would not forget the speaker. I would mention about the speaker, at least one sentence I would say to the speaker, but I would not lose the audience for even 1 second. And actually my evaluation is for the whole audience. So that is the idea of whom to address. Movement. There are no marks for movement for an evaluation speech. You can very well stand there and speak. But the problem is, while contesting, after my contest, many people from the audience have come up to me and said, Nisha, you did a good evaluation, but you did not move. So there is this misconception, even among judges, that you have to move. So if you're comfortable, if the judge is not properly briefed, maybe the judge will take that also into consideration. You can try a wee movement if you want. And actually, this is not a criterion. You can very well stand on a podium even and give your evaluation. And finally, for timing. Timing, you have 3 minutes, 30 seconds to spare. So here, At the club level, always have your own comfortable pattern of speaking so that you have a mental timing. You see, at the traffic lights, the taxi drivers, even before you see green, they know that it is going to be green. They'll start revving up the engine. Same way, have that mental timing with you. And also, you have this idea where you start winding up your recommendations when you see yellow. And by the time you give your summary, you will just have enough time to spare. And also, don't you give the audience the opportunity to take time away from you, like giving them an occasion to answer, asking them to clap, unless you want to while away the time. Don't give the audience the baton of time. Keep it with you, because you have time is very important. You have to always, by the grace of the good Lord, I have, in my 6 years in Toastmasters, I've made sure that I've never ever crossed the time limit. So that is the aim. Even if I cross the time limit tomorrow, I've always tried for it. So this is the general idea of how you become a contest evaluator. You are actually facilitating the person to be a better speaker. You're seeing the person, a person who comes up like a cat, to see that the person has the possibility to develop spots and turn into a leopard. You can see the speaker grow, and you also go to grow in confidence as a speaker. So this is how I would put a typical evaluation. You have a good opening and closing sentence. You have a crisp analysis of where you speak about the elements of speech which the speaker used in 3 or 4 sentences. Again, you give 2 or 3 strengths, you give 1 or 2 areas of improvement at least, and you come up with a summary and a closing sentence. This is what I would call a typical evaluation. So you are going to give your speaker the stripes with your great recommendations. Can we have the speaker lined up quickly give a speech for us? And I would like all of you to think about what an opening sentence would be like here for this particular speech which is coming up. What are the analysis that you feel is very important here as far as the speech elements which have been used by the speaker is concerned? What are the recommendations and what is the summary? Just think about, all of us, please use this as a mental exercise, and let's listen to the speech. Over to you.
Am I audible? Just an audio check.
Yes.
Okay, great. Nisha, I would like to present, so if you can stop sharing. Thank you.
Yes, have I stopped sharing? Not
Yes,
yet?
you have.
Okay, thank you.
So can you all see a white screen?
Yes.
Someone can confirm. Yeah, thank you so much. So it was a nice regular day when I was sitting in front of the television and I was watching some random favorite shows. Suddenly my mom calls me from the kitchen. Sriram, can you go and take that green couch from the red cupboard? I was confused. I asked her, which cupboard? One with the mirror or one without? My mom got irritated. I could hear it in her voice. Come on, Sriram, don't do it like this. The one with the mirror is green. The one without the mirror is red. Okay. I did not do anything at that point in time. Silently, I went to the cupboard, took the cloth, gave it to her. Neither my mom also did not make a big deal out of it. Neither did. But when you have siblings, it is their motive to figure out what your weakness is and exploit it over and over and over again. So my sister had been to a mental class where they had asked her to see a sheet of paper which had some words in it. It looked something like this. I'll show you what. It looked something like this. She was very excited and bubbly and she came to me. Sriram, you see, this sheet will lead to right brain and left brain conflict because your left brain will try to read the word, but your right brain will try to see the color and say it. My brain had no confusion, absolutely zero confusion. I was just reading it out. And that's when I figured out that, yes, this is the time to take the test. What test? The color deficiency test. So I will show you how a color deficiency test exactly looks like. But before that, let me warn you, 8% of males and 1% of female have this color deficiency, or we call it as color blindness. If you have not taken this test before and you figure out today, I will not be held responsible. Can you see a number in this? Anyone can unmute and say the number.
94.
74.
74.
74. Okay. Can anyone not see any number in this? Don't worry, you're not alone in this meeting room. I am there and you have my company and I have your company. So the color deficiency test something looks like this. It has a lot of plates. This is one of the plates. This is called the Ishihara plate. And there are a certain set of plates which will test a wide variety of colors. It will start from red, green, it will go to blue, it will go. The nurse was showing me a lot of papers. I was not even able to say a single number where red and green was involved. My sister was standing next to me and she was like 32, 23, 74. And I was like, no, you people are gaming me. There is no number in this. But then she gave me a glass which filtered the red and green and I was able to see the numbers. Then I had to accept it. I have a condition called deuteranopia, which is red-green color blindness. So what is this condition? Leave the condition. I tell people that I am colorblind. You know the way they react? Wow, you are colorblind. What color is this? I mean, seriously, I just told you that I am colorblind. But currently this is not called color blindness, but they call it as color deficiency disorder because it's not exactly like I cannot see colors. I see colors, but the association of the wavelength doesn't happen. I was pretty upset that I have this condition. Then my father came to me. He was, Shriram, see, you did not bring this upon you. It was given to you. So to accept it. Your sister is a small child now. She will understand later. But not only your sister, anyone in the life, if they make fun of you, don't take it to your heart. Just accept the fact that you are colorblind and move on. That was a very nice piece of advice. And I wanted to own it. So what I did, I went to the Himalayas and I meditated. No, I just opened Google and searched about it. What is color blindness? What happens? I found out a lot of interesting things. One, this disease is not curable. And second thing, there were a lot of people in history who had color blindness. For example, the person who found out the theory that there is something called as color blindness was in fact a colorblind, John Dalton. And how many of you here know why Facebook is in a shade of blue but not in red and green? No problem. Someone is unmuting.
Yeah, because Mark is colorblind himself, so he can see blue perfectly fine.
Yes, Toastmaster Rishi. Mark Zuckerberg is red-green colorblind, and hence Facebook is full of blue tint. Not only him, Bill Clinton was also a colorblind. So the point here is that anyone and everyone with color blindness in the past had somehow overcome it and wore it as a shield, like Tyrion Lannister says in Game of Thrones that, you know, wear your weakness as a shield so that no one can use it against you. So that's what I did. I embraced that I'm a colorblind person and I want to create more awareness about this so-called color deficiency disorder and so that more people are aware of that. And I'm pretty successful so far. And I'm not saying I'm the most successful person in the world, but I'm happy with whatever I have achieved so far. And if you believe that you can achieve, nothing will come in your way and you will come out with flying colors in whatever you do, no matter where you are and what your deficiency is. So next time, I implore all the Toastmasters just one thing. When you see a person who is colorblind, don't ask them what color they see. Over to the contest chair.
Dear audience, you heard a wonderful speech just now. Can you give me a nice opening sentence for an evaluation for this? You can unmute yourself and speak rather than chat. A nice opening sentence for this evaluation.
Which color is this?
Yes, that is one way to hook the audience. What color is this? And he can even say, I cannot see that red color. But you could see the problem, in some way you could present it to the audience. Excellent. You can also say, cool as a cucumber. The presenter before you was not giving you the screen and you handled it so beautifully. I could see that you are one great speaker. Something interesting too. From the situation you can pull out and you can start your speech. Can we have some sentences on the analysis of the speech? Can we have one analysis from somebody? The speaker, what type of speech was it? Was it an entertaining speech?
Educational speech.
Educational. In the Toastmasters jargon, it was an informational speech, as we put it. So that is an element of speech, a speech making. And the informational speech, what he used, how did he present it to us? So how do we analyze it?
Personal story.
What ploy did he use to get the information across? Did he give statistics? Did he use heavy literature on a scientific topic? What did he do?
Personal stories.
He used personal stories. He used anecdotes. Without even letting us know that it was an informational speech, he slowly swooped us into the waters. He slowly told us about the technical aspects without us even knowing about it. That is very interesting. Something else?
It was gripping.
Yes, he had characters. And what conversations. He had conversations, and the way he presented it, he was even looking far away as if, he's answering his mother. So he would be looking far away and speaking. So even the expressions were right. So we were actually hooked on to what he was trying to tell us, what is happening there at his house, wasn't it? What else?
He had subtle humor.
Subtle humor was there. He tried humor. So there you can be a little, was he effective? I don't know. So you can be truthful there. He tried humor. He had a good attempt at humor. So areas of improvement, because we have dearth of time, what were the areas of improvement?
I think opening, because he has some analysis about Facebook. So he could have started with that and then went to his main speech.
So you're going to suggest. Now, the suggestion is great that you could have used this in the beginning of your speech so that you could have brought the topic across in another more effective manner. You can recommend it, but always when you recommend, present it in a nice manner so that the speaker feels that it would have been better. So how to package it? The same sentence, how would you package it in a more sensitive manner as the judging sheet tells us?
I would say, oh my God, that was so interesting about Facebook. I just wish you had brought it up in the beginning itself to hook us.
So that way, the manner in which you bring about the points of improvement, that is also very important. Again, for a quick, I'm not going to go into more recommendations. This is a style of how you go about it. And a summary, can we have a summary from somebody, a full summary from somebody? Toastmasters Sriram, yes.
So he started with his personal story of how he finally realized that he himself is a colorblind, and then from there he told us what exactly the color deficiency is, what is it about, and he told many people who have already gotten that issue of color blindness, and how he came over it, and he's embracing that problem in him.
Yes, that is, here we are slightly treading into the rehashing territory. It is more about the elements of what was used. maybe you can say that he's a very casual speaker who was in a conversational style of speaker, but at the same time he's technically so adept. He was able to handle a situation where he had to get the screen right at the beginning of the speech. You were so confident, you showed your expertise, you were so good in getting the information across. I wish you could use this and that, and here you are, as you will be there giving those great speeches. That way, bring the points of improvement, bring the good points all together in one or two sentences and end on a high note. What can be the high note? Give us a very interesting sentence to end the speech, somebody. Color blindness, the way you were speaking, you were such a good speaker. People would start wishing that they were colorblind so that they could make those great speeches. Something like that you can cook up, that's it. So this is how evaluations are interesting. It's highly exciting. It's high wire excitement. Please go about it. Enjoy your evaluations and hope this session would go do that little help for you as well. Over to you.
Thank you so much, DTM Nisha. We got some questions from the audience. So the first question, how do we construct an evaluation? Am I audible? What?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. So how do we construct an evaluation if the speaker was way too good and there are not many points of improvements? Finding suggestion is difficult.
If it's a really great speech, the easiest way to find an area of improvement is it is a 7 to 7.5 minute speech. If you are human, in between you would have lost attention somewhere. Where did you lose attention and why? If you think about it, usually you get one area of improvement. For example, the speaker must have used some one or two words which are too high fundi and you did not understand. You wavered your attention. So there is an area of improvement where you can put across. That is the easiest way. Another way is if the speech is way too good in as far as the style of delivery is concerned, you can slowly attack the script because the script is the speaker's own. It is better not to touch it. But if you are in that territory where you need an area of improvement, think about ways in which the script could have been better.
Thank you. Second question is evaluations can be subjective. Not everyone may agree with the points we say. So how do we deal with that?
Evaluations have to be objective rather than subjective. It has to be objective. That is the mainstay for an evaluation. So how do we be objective? When you hear the speech, you forget what that person is. You listen to the speech and the message and the purpose of the speech. You try to analyze the correlation between what was the aim of the speaker and how effective that speaker was and where that effectivity was lost. So it is highly objective, where, for example, a person is speaking about life. It is a speech on life. So what was the exact message? Did you understand it? You're not being subjective. You're not going through the ideas of the speech, what that person intended to say and how it was presented, what was lost in between. There you get an objective area of improvement, an objective analysis.
Well said. Thank you so much. The last and but least question: how much time to be allotted for the opening, closing, and analysis? Since if we divide it in that way.
Opening, one sentence, more than enough. Closing sentence, one is enough. In between analysis, I would say you can manage, in my speed of delivery, I manage 5 to 6 sentences. I can pull it to 7. Areas of improvement, again, you can manage 3 comfortably. If you try to push in a 4th one, you are in the danger territory. And summary, again, 1 to 1.5 sentences. So that is my speed. In this way, each person, the way in which you're comfortable with your speed of delivery, your speed of thought, and your template of presenting an evaluation, which you are comfortable with through the times that you deliver a speech, evaluation speech, you will have your own number of sentences, a time frame in which you can accomplish the speech.
Okay, thank you so much, DTM Nisha, for this informative educational session. Over to you, MC Grish.
Thank you. Thank you, Nazla. Thank you for moderating this session. Thank you, DTM Nisha Varghese, for all those wonderful tips. And with this, we have come to the closer. I have one last balloon animal for you guys to guess. And this time I managed to change the color of the balloon. The person who guesses, please message on the chat box. Do something about this. But yes. Okay. So again, TM Apraman Snakes, if I'm pronouncing this correct. Thank you everyone for participating. And I hand over the stage to our area director, Toastmaster Pragnya, for vote of thanks and acknowledgement. Pragnya, screen is yours.
Wow, what a brilliant education session this was. I have a ton of takeaways and a ton of notes to carry from this session, and I hope all of you did too. It is my privilege to say thanks and to actually share our gratitude to our role players and trainers and everybody involved today. So very quickly, let me just share my screen. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes.
Confirm? Okay, wonderful. First of all, I think this session would have been incomplete without our 4 wonderful, brilliant, and out of this world trainers. Every session had a perfect takeaway for us, and they deconstructed the speech contests wonderfully. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sami, DTM Vinod, DTM Nisha, and DTM Devlal. It is our pleasure to have spent our time with you all today. And definitely have to thank our moderators, Toastmaster A.B. Lakshmanan, Toastmaster Kriti Bansal, Toastmaster Farah Imran, and Toastmaster Najla Hassan. I think beautifully introduced the trainers as well and conducted the Q&A sessions after each session. So congratulations for a job well done, and thank you for being part of this wonderful session. And this training would not have been successful without people who actually did a lot of the work behind the scenes as well. Our SAA Toastmaster Rajendra Kholia, our timer and come Zoom master Toastmaster Sriram Sridhar, and our mystery speaker Toastmaster Sriram Radhakrishnan, sorry for the pronunciation. And of course, our MC with his lovely balloon making skills, Toastmaster Girish Dhyanu. I cannot stop saying thank yous without thanking the Division Council, who has been behind us and have given us tremendous support in putting this together. Starting from our Division B Director, Toastmaster Harish Krishnan, to the Division PQD, Toastmaster Ajita, Division CG, Toastmaster Divya Raj, our Division Advisor, DTM Umar Radhakrishnan, and our immediate past Division B Director, DTM Vinod Pandikar. Thank you everybody for making this such a wonderful event, and thank you all for joining us and for making this such a successful event. So with this, I officially declare this training is closed. However, I would request all of you to please switch on your cameras so we can get some big captured in cameras for memories. Thank you to each and every one of you for staying back till the end of this day. Feedback about this session is more than welcome always. So please feel free to reach us or any of our teams on social media, on our WhatsApp, wherever you can find us. Right, timer comes Zoom Master. Do we have some pictures? Wonderful. Thank you, everybody. And with that, we call this meeting to a close, and good night. Thank you, lovely trainers. We had an amazing session. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Right.
Awesome, Peggy. Good night, everyone.
Well done, everyone. Super, Girish, Najla, Farah, Rajendra, everyone, super job. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
Now,
Sriram.
I think I can stop the recording. Thank you.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah.